Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
Much of our area is under alert tonight as storms have been moving through. Let's begin by giving you a look at a photo from a viewer. High winds toppling a grain bin. This happened onto a semi, actually. This happened north of Donaldson, Minnesota earlier. It's in Kittson County. Now, this is a first alert weather day, so let's get right to it. Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson is here with what's going on. And Hutch, you've got the storm surrounded right now.
Well, we do.
Yep. Today is a Valley News Live Weather Alert Day.
Yes, we do, Mike. Thank you very much. As we head into the evening hours, we've had Eric Whitehill out monitoring things in the southern part of the valley and northern part of the valley with our Skycams. And you're looking right now at our Fargo Skycam here, the Valley Skycam, at a storm in western Cass County. A lot of vivid lightning with this. It's moving northeast. This does not look like it's moving right into the FM area. It's going to move into northern Cass County. But on the other side of this storm, from the other direction, is Eric Whitehill, and here is a look at his video as he is at the Buffalo exit, showing us the view looking east at this storm. Now, this is a mean cluster of storms. It has picked up in intensity. It's moving northeast into the northern reaches of Cass County right now. So let's get right to the radar and show you what's going on. Active warnings along a line from northeast portions of North Dakota and northwest Minnesota right here into the Southern Valley and even in towards Ellendale and Oaks. We'll take the lightning off there. There's plenty of that. Vivid lightning across the region. The yellow boxes are the active warnings. First and foremost, let's get you up into northeast North Dakota. Things have been very active here all afternoon and evening with a lot of rain. The warning that you see here for Thief River Falls, storm is exiting Thief River Falls, moving into southern parts of Marshall County and eastern Marshall towards Grigla. That storm has some large winds, and the winds have been ridiculous up here all evening long, with Kittson County having damage, as we've talked about. Roseau County seeing strong thunderstorms there, and here's a report of some of the damage, including funnel clouds near the Strathcona area and wind damage from the Roseau area into Donaldson. For Fargo, we do have that storm that Eric Whitehill is on. There is his location at the Buffalo exit. That will be moving northeast through the yellow box you see there, pushing through parts of Trail County, once again in the I-29 corridor. And Eric's video moments ago showing that semi-trailer toppled on I-94 off to the east of the Valley City area. Oaks, Gwinner, your area is seeing storms push out of South Dakota. Looks like it's going to be a long and stormy night, Mike. We still could see severe storms overnight. The main risk is going to be those nasty, gusty winds over 70 miles per hour in spots. I'll have details on your hour-by-hour forecast here in just a few moments.
All right, thanks so much, Hutch. These are certainly stressful times for Fargo police. They're dealing with social unrest, trouble within the ranks, not to mention everyday crime fighting. Former Deputy Chief Todd Osmundson resigned after not following protocol during the May 30th riot. Osmundson admitted he had just one mental health evaluation in his 31 years on the job. Valley News Team's Alexander Kay asked local leaders why more evaluations aren't done and what might change in the future.
2 weeks since a riot in downtown Fargo, and the group One Fargo continues to raise questions about policies within the Fargo Police Department, including lack of regular psychological evaluations on officers. The Fargo Police Department tells us those evaluations are required before an offer of employment and are not required throughout the officer's career. A criminal justice professor at NDSU says that is common practice in law enforcement.
So there's no research that really helps guide us, which makes it really difficult to make any kind of assumptions about whether or not that's enough. I do think that we need additional research on this topic.
The Moorhead Police Department has the same policy about psychological evaluations. However, they have implemented a new program to help officers with their mental health.
It is my hope that we work on listening to deeply understand one another, rather than listening to simply respond out of hate or misunderstanding.
Dr. Aaron Sumala Falkhertz says his role is to make sure police officers are mentally well so they can be effective on the job. And that's exactly what the Fargo and West Fargo Police Departments are searching for in a new police chief.
What I would hope to do is you would meet, have a plan of action within 3 to 4 months, and then you start executing that plan of action.
Fargo Mayor Tim Mahoney says candidates should come prepared with ideas to implement. In Fargo, Alexandra Kay, Valley News Live.
Professor Archbold says that the criminal justice curriculum at NDSU is constantly evolving, using research and data, as well as real-life examples. And cases like George Floyd's death in Minneapolis will be used to teach students as early as this fall. Fargo City officials say it's time to move forward and rebuild trust among members of the community. Mayor Mahoney's comments came after the release of an internal investigation into the conduct of former Deputy Osmundson. Police were accused of illegal surveillance by the local groups Black Lives Matter and One Fargo, but the report found there was no coordinated effort. Osmundson acted alone.
I feel very strongly that we have to be a community. People of color do not feel threatened or biased or anything like that.
Yeah, I'll let the report speak for itself. I did not have a hand in it other than being interviewed.
A march is planned for this Friday by local organizers of Black Lives Matter and One Fargo. Their march will start at 9 o'clock in the morning at Island Park, and they will go to City Hall. There's another march planned for Saturday. And then there's the question of whether the weekend marches in Fargo will be breaking the law, since they don't have a permit. Mayor Mahoney questioned that one, saying that a permit was needed. He sent out a statement late this afternoon, which in part said the requirements for liability insurance are in place to protect the personal liability of the organizers. He also indicated publicly that the 4 members of the One Fargo who are planning the rally and march will be liable for any damage in downtown Fargo. The mayor's comments didn't sit well with the ACLU, which responded, if Mayor Mahoney is serious about mending years and years of racial injustice, he needs to stop making statements that chill free speech and start showing that he's not only listening, but is also dedicated to taking action. The United States Senate passed the Great American Outdoors Act today. This bill would allocate nearly $2 billion a year for the next 5 years to the National Park Service. It will address national park and public land maintenance backlogs across the nation. North Dakota alone has about $50 million in maintenance that's been on hold. Lawmakers say the bill will help North Dakota in more ways than one.
The Great American Outdoors Act really brings us one step closer to making significant and really necessary improvements, not only at Theodore Roosevelt National Park, but really on our public lands and at Native American schools.
The bill is anticipated to pass through the House. President Trump has indicated his support and is expected to sign it into law. Still no word on the extent of injuries to one person after a head-on crash between a semi and a vehicle. It happened late this afternoon near the Mapleton exit along Interstate 94. West Fargo Police, Mapleton Fire, and Castleton Fire all responded to the crash. State Democrats are calling for a special session of the North Dakota legislature. Party leaders said today there's not enough being done for those affected by the coronavirus pandemic. State Democrats say that they want to be in Bismarck within the next 30 days, voting on the remaining CARES Act funds and a $1 billion infrastructure bonding bill. Localities must have their 2021 budgets finalized in the coming months. And due to ongoing questions regarding prairie dog funds and oil revenues, many are unsure what their funds will look like. Democrats hope this bill can bridge those gaps for much-needed construction.
Our farmers can't get to their fields to harvest the 2019 crop so they can put in the 2020 crop. It's a difficult, challenging situation. There's frustration, depression, concern. The financial impact to our ag economy and our farmers is real.
A special session can be called if the governor signs an executive order or the legislature calls themselves in. Governor Doug Burgum has regularly said that he isn't considering a special session, and House and Senate majority leaders both said that they were not interested. North Dakota is reporting 42 new cases of COVID-19 across the state. 17 of those are in Cass County. There have been no new deaths linked to the disease, meaning the death toll still sits at 74. 25 patients are currently in the hospital. 2,756 are listed as being recovered. Minnesota, meanwhile, reporting 419 new cases, along with 12 more deaths linked to the virus. This brings the death toll in the state to 1,325. Of those deaths, 1,051 happened in a long-term care facility. The state is reporting 419 new cases, bringing the active case count to 2,567. Over 27,000 people are listed as recovered.